what we got here is a 8.5 or 8.5 10 bolt GM differential. It's the differential is out of a 73 Nova, but it's in a 68 Nova, which you guys will see more of the Nova later on. So I rebuilt the rear differential due to the bearings were making noise. As soon as I got off the accelerating, or when it was decelerating, it would make a noise. It would howl. It would make noise. So I decided to take it apart, and I'm going from 410s to the 373s. And yes, it has C-clip eliminators, Moser axles. Oh, I'm sorry, strange axles. And I do have Willwood disc brakes on the back. That's the brackets that you're seeing right there. Make sure you get the... Okay, so this is the diff cover I'm using. And as you can see, it's from Tom's differentials. Tom's rear ends, way back in the day. They're not around anymore. They were in Paramount. Shout out to Paramount. That's our hometown. So this is what I'm using, and this is what we're going to record installing this guy, torquing these down, torquing the covers down and all that good stuff. This is pretty much TA Performance cover, but from way back in the day when I guess Tom would buy these from them and they would put their name on it. So I'm going to prepare some tools to get ready, and here we go. Okay, so before we put the cover on, I'm going to put a little bit of oil on the gear and on the set and everything, just to get everything kind of pre-lubed. This is what I'm going with. The instructions for the gear does say to use a GL5 gear or gear oil at 80-90 conventional. This is what it's asking for. Driven Racing GP1, some of the best oil I've ever used. I run it on everything on my Nova on the car, except for the transmission, but that's going to change. Okay, I'll just put a little bit all over the stuff here, and where the bearings go, it's going to get all the way down in there. Get a good covering of it, because I'm still waiting for more oil to come in. Put a little bit here, a little bit in there. I am going to add friction modifier in this, but I'm waiting for oil to show up, so. Okay, I just didn't want to put the cover on dry. Well, the gears and stuff inside here being dry. Okay, cut. Okay, so now we're going to apply the silicone to install the cover. I'm going just with ultra black silicone, gasket maker, whatever you want to call it. I'm not going to run the gasket that's on here. It's either gasket or silicone. I opt for the silicone. So let's see. Okay, here we go. So not too much. I mean, you can go crazy with this if you want, but one thing I did find was when I opened up the differential to take it apart to start the rebuild, I did notice that down in the corners, these holes here and here were covered with silicone, and those holes don't need to be covered. That's where the oil gets splashed onto the cover, and the cover in this particular cover, the oil will get splashed up here and then redirected through these lines that go down here into these holes. These holes will then send the oil out to the axles, out to your wheel bearings, for differentials that have the regular wheel bearings. Since I'm running the C-clip Eliminator Kit there, the bearings are sealed in there, and I don't know, I guess some lube gets into it. I'm not positive, but whatever. We're gonna get oil in there this time. So I like to run my finger and spread it out a little bit more. You don't want to squish it. You kind of want to leave it like a little ridge, a little bump still. Try to go around that guy. That way it gets on the whole surface of the cover. Now you want to make sure that it's good towards the bottom down here, because down here is where it does most of the sealing. When the car or the truck is not running and you're stopped, all the oil sits down on the bottom, obviously, and everything pulls up here at the bottom. Okay, so here we go. Cover's gonna go on. Nice and kind of clean, but it'll work. I survive. Oh shoot, I covered all the freaking holes. Okay. Get that guy in here. Put the top one. Now the instructions for the silicone say to pretty much just lay the cover on here, finger tighten all of these, which we're gonna squish it down a little bit more, let it sit for about an hour, and then finalize the torque, which in this case, this cover, the torque spec calls for 25 foot-pounds. So we're going to use our speed handle here and kind of just get it down. Get it down. Get it down. Down. Right there. And I'm not putting too much force on it. I'm kind of just a little tiny bit. Oh, this guy was loose. Right there. Okay, so now we waited an hour for the silicone to tack up. So now we're gonna torque down the cover. Spec calls for 25 foot-pounds. So we got 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 25 foot-pounds. Okay, and we're doing it in a crisscross pattern. So there's 1, 2, because it spreads the load out evenly as you're tightening it down. Like if I do all on one side first, it's gonna squish down over here first, and then when you get to this side, it won't squish it down evenly. So right now it's squishing it all down evenly. Ugh. They're all tightened down in that pattern. I like to just go over all of them, make sure we're there. And this one up here, oh, you stop. This one up here is a regular bolt because this little tab is where the block for the brake distribution block goes. It broke off, but I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I'll see how I get it on there. But this is the bolt that I had for it right now. I needed a longer bolt because the original one here was stripped. My threads in the case were stripped, so I had to stick a longer one in there. So that's why that looks like that. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is set the preload on the girder studs, the girder supports, I guess you could call them, the load pins or whatever they call them. But because these go all the way through in the cover and they're threaded all the way through, what I like to do is just squirt a little bit of silicone on here to get it on the threads, and when it threads in, it will hopefully spread around in there. And yes, it makes a mess, I know. So that there, this one here, because I do it just so there wouldn't be any oil leaking out of these holes. So these preset, I got an inch-pound wrench here, set at 60 inch-pounds, which is what the instructions call for. So, and that's very little pressure. Oh, I guess it hadn't gotten all the way down yet. Oh, there we go. And there, and that's 60 inch-pounds. Now on this guy, 60 inch-pounds translates to 5 foot-pounds. Okay, that's there. Okay, so now we're gonna set the torque on these guys. Instructions say 20 foot-pounds. And with the silicone in there, this one will squish it down and will help it seal a little better. So here we go. Okay, the cover's on, preloads are set, 25 foot-pounds, the center one 60 inch-pounds or 5 foot-pounds, outside ones it said 20 foot-pounds. You can go 20, 25, I think it'll be fine for those. So, okay, cover's on.